Okay, so hello. How are you guys? So, yan. So now, this will be our part three. So for last time, we didn't discuss any of the electric flux uh, thoroughly. So now we will be discussing more of the electric flux. So yeah, okay. So we have discussed about the electric charges and the electric fields. Now we will be dealing and we will be discussing about the electric flux. Okay, so electric flux yung ating i-discuss today. Okay, so what is electric flux? So yun nga ba, what is electric flux? So when we talk about electric flux, so the electric flux, phi E, is the electrical field lines that pass through a certain shape or area. So alam naman natin, we have exerted some effort na madaanan to last from our first ever meeting. Okay, so for example, we have here a rectangular or a square shape, square area. Tapos the way na mas malalaman natin na it is perpendicular is that golden line, yellow line, and the blue line. So as you can see, it's a the field lines na dumaan dyan, yung green is in perpendicular sa ating area. Okay, dun sa ating square area. So, sir, what is the indication of that na na 90 degrees yung ating uh, 90 degrees yung ating um, electrical field lines na dumaan. So, when we talk about degrees, dyan nyo kasi makikita kung gaano kadami yung dumadaang electrical field lines. Okay? So, we will be discussing it thoroughly. Okay, so, as you can see, this red line, which is comprised of four sides, yan yung ating area. Okay, so yan yung ating area. And this blue line indicates the perpendicularity of the field lines na dumadaan. So it's just an imaginary line. It's just an imaginary line. Okay. So another definition of electric flux is the measure of the electrical field lines crossing the surface. So crossing the surface. So when we talk about surface, it is just what the naked eye or kung ano yung nakaharap lang sa isang point of view. Okay? So kung ano lang yung nakaharap sa isang point of view. Doon lang nagpa-pass through yung ating electrical field lines. Okay, so although an electric field cannot flow by itself, it is a way of describing the electric field strength at any distance from the charge creating the field. Okay, so moving on. So for example, yan yung ating electrical uh, field, yung red line natin dyan. So ngayon, the green line indicates our electrical field lines. Pero hindi lang naman siya iisa. Okay, hindi lang siya iisa and maraming dumadaan dyan na electrical field lines. Okay, so kita naman ninyo na those lines are perpendicular. So they are parallel to each other. Walang nagtatamaan dyan. So they are parallel to each other, perpendicular in a sense from our point na rectangular area or our square shape area. Okay, so uh, uh, that is our perspective in dealing with the drawings of these perpendicular lines pass through these parallel lines that pass through our area in a perpendicular manner. Okay, so from our previous lesson, I have given you a formula that says that EA or electrical field line times the area cosine alpha. That is our formula. One of the formulas that can be able to solve our electric flux. Okay. Okay, so that is our formula and we will be dealing with it uh, later. Okay. So balik tayo dito. Now, if our electrical field line passes uh, through an angle, so as you can see, you will see here that we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 electrical field lines na dumaan dito sa ating first drawing. However, nung ating ginawa siyang in an angle, pumasok siya na naka-angle, which is let's say parang nag-bounce siya. So, hindi naman lahat ng bouncing perpendicular. So, it can be an angled or it can also be parallel to our uh, electrical field. But in this case, it is just in an angled manner. For example, let's say this is an angle of uh, 30 degrees. Okay, so it's 30 degrees. Nung nag-bend siya ng 30 degrees, ilan yung natira sa loob? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is the 9th. Ito yung 9 and lumabas siya sa ating area. Labas siya sa ating area. So, habang nagkakaroon tayo ng angled electrical field lines, kumukonti yung nasa loob ng ating electrical field. So, in that case, pwede natin sabihin na mawawala sila kapag dumating yung time na yan. Kapag dumating yung time na magpapass through sila parallel. In a parallel manner. Okay? So yan yung ating nature ng ating electrical field lines. So, they can pass through in a manner na perpendicular sa ating area. They can also pass through in a manner naman na parallel. And most of the time, electrical field lines passes in an angled manner. Okay? So, in an angled manner. So, we have here a formula which is phi E is equals to Q all over E, our epsilon. So, here is our phi, electrical flux, unit of Nm squared per coulomb. And the charge Q is equals to coulomb, and we have the permittivity of free space, which is 8.85 times 10 raised to negative 12 C squared all over Nm squared. Okay, so we have here our derivations, which is phi E, and we have discussed this previously. So we have here our E is equals to KQ all over R squared, and the area of 4 pi r squared. So we just have to cancel them when we combine these two. And we have here our k, which is 1 over 4 pi epsilon. And we can cancel out our 4 pi. And that's why we have the remaining phi e is equals to q all over epsilon. So, na-discuss ko siya previously kung paano ba siya na-derive talaga. So, this is just a recap of how did we arrive at our formula, which is phi E is equivalent to Q over epsilon. Okay? So yan. So, break lang tayo ng konti. Electron is equivalent, our electron's mass has a mass of 9.109 times 10 raised to negative 31 kilograms. Okay, so don't you forget this, guys, ha. This is just the mass of the electron. 9.109 times 10 raised to negative 31 kilograms. And hindi mawawala yung proton natin. So, what is the mass of the proton, sir? The mass of the proton is 10 So yan, mass of it is 1.672 times 10 raised to negative 27 kilograms. So, sir, why are you giving it to us? Kasi dapat nung ano pa. Pero idinagdag ko lang ngayon para mas mag-grasp ninyo yung ating um, mga values and components of our charged particles. And we have also the neutron uh, of mass of 1.67 times 10 raised to negative 27. As you can see, hindi malayo ang ating proton at ang ating neutron. So, they are almost the same in weight. Almost maliit na lang talaga yung discrepancy, but as soon as it goes, kapag sila ay mas madami na, so makikita ninyo na yung mas mabigat yung ating proton. Okay? So, that's it. So, ito yung ating masses of our electron, proton, and neutron. So, I hope guys na ma-jot down nyo to because this is new. And every day, every lesson, lagi tayo merong bagong nakukuha dito. Okay, so, sige, let's proceed tayo. Let's proceed guys. So, let's have here an example of our electrical field line. So, as you can see guys, we have here our formula of this horizontal disc that has a diameter, 3-meter diameter, has flux passing through it with 30 degrees from the horizontal. Solve for the electrical flux if it has a value of 100 Newton per Coulomb. So as you can see, passing through the horizontal. So but wait, dito muna tayo mag-focus. So as you can see, we have here our formula of phi is equivalent to EA cosine alpha. Cosine alpha. Okay, cosine alpha tayo guys. Cosine alpha. So now as you can see here, our plate is here is on the horizontal. When we say on the horizontal, nakalapat siya horizontally. And we have here our perpendicular line, yung yellow line, and nagpass through yung ating electrical field line in a manner na nakaslant siya. So we have here our alpha na angle. So yung alpha angle natin dito is with respect to our let's say this is the y-axis. So with respect siya sa ating y-axis. Okay, so kasi kailangan kasi natin yan mamaya sa ating example. Okay, so we have to be wary of the orientation of our electrical field lines. Okay, so punta tayo dito sa ating example. So a horizontal disc that has a 3-meter diameter has flux passing through it with 30 degrees from the horizontal. So solve for the electric flux if it has a value of 100 Newton per Coulomb. So we have here radius of 1.5 meters and the alpha of 60. Sir, why is it alpha of 60? As you can see, we have here our 30 degrees from the horizontal. Meaning, ito yung ating 30 degrees. Nasa horizontal siya. Pagitan siya ng ating electrical field line. That's why it is our 30 degrees from the horizontal. But then again, ang kailangan natin is yung ating alpha angle. So if it is the alpha angle that we want, then that is the angle that we should use. Okay. So and we have our electric flux, our electric field of 100 newtons per coulomb. Okay, so for the solution, yes, this is the drawing. This is the electrical drawing or the imaginative drawing of our problem. So we have here the diameter of 1.5. Radius pala yun. Radius na. Diameter of 3 meters. So, since this diameter in 3 meters, we will be using the radius, pi r squared. So, we have your 100 Newton per Coulomb multiplied to our pi r, pi r squared, which is the area of our circle, and cosine 60. So we have here the value of 353.43 Newton square meter per coulomb. Okay, so I hope na naging clear yung ating first example, because we will be having more examples uh, from here on. Okay, so the next example is what is the electric flux through a sphere of radius 4 meters that contains A 50 plus 50 positive 50 microcoulombs, and B we have negative 50 microcoulomb charge at its center. Okay, so using the formula, phi E is equivalent to Q over E, or Q over epsilon. So, so, yon. Using this formula, we can still get the value of uh, our electric flux. Okay, so using this formula, we have here our phi E is equivalent to 50 times 10 raised to negative 6. Okay, so as you can see, we have here our microcoulomb. This microcoulomb is also equivalent to our times 10 raised to negative 6. Okay, and we have here uh, our constant of permittivity of free space, which is 8.85 times 10 raised to negative 12. Okay. So 50 times 10 raised to negative 6 for our positive microcoulombs. We have here the value of 5.65 times 10 raised to 6 Newton square meter per coulomb. Okay, so uh, okay, so yan. Punta tayo ngayon sa ating calculator. So as you can see, guys, meron tayo ditong uh, equation. As you can see, we have here times 10 raised to negative 6 and times 10 raised to negative 12. So let's have these two. 50 times 10 raised to negative 6. 50 times 10 raised to negative 6 all over 8.85 times 10 raised to negative 12. So we will be having our answer of 5.65 times 10 raised to 6. Okay, so pwede naman ninyong mano-mano siya kung medyo mabangis-bangis kayo sa mathematics talaga. Mano-mano nyong gawin. So, sureball ako dun sa times 10 raised to 6 for the reason that when you place our negative 12 sa taas, di ba yun naman na rule of exponents, when you divide the exponents, you have to place the denominator dun sa numerator para pagsasamahin sila. When we say pagsasamahin, it can be either add them or subtract them. Okay, so in this case, they should be added for the reason that negative 12, when you put our exponent on the numerator side, its sign will be changed to positive, negative to positive. That's why the answer is in times 10 raised to 6. Okay? So, in this case also, positive yung ating A. If positive yung ating A, we will also be using the the sign or the sign of negative 50 when we solve for our b. Okay, so same manner yung ating pag-solve. Okay, so ito yung ating calculator. So what we're going to change is we just have to put a negative sign in front of our 50 times 10 raised to negative 6. And the answer will be the same, but in the negative side. So direction lang yung nag-iba. So if the direction lang yung nag-iba but the value is still the same, wala namang problema siguro tayo doon. Okay, so yun nga lang, we have to include the signs just in case na kailangan natin silang i-solve na merong kasamang sign. Okay? So I hope guys na naging clear ito sa bawat isa. And we will be proceeding to our new examples. Okay, so for this example, so we have here a uniform electric field, which is E is equivalent to 8,000 Newton per Coulomb passing through a flat square plate, a measurement of 3.65 meters. So determine the flux. So we will be solving for the flux. So here's our flat plate, and that 3.16 meters is for the sides of our plate. So here are the flux electrical field lines that pass through it. So yeah. So we have here our given length of 3.16 meters and our electric field lines of 8,000 Newton per Coulomb. So medyo madali lang to, and I hope guys na ating masagutan to. So please try to solve this one and please check if you have the same answer as me. Okay, so here's our timer. So guys, please try to solve this one, and we'll be back after you solve this. Okay? So sige, please try to solve muna. Okay, so yan. So we have finished our timer and now we will be discussing the answer for this first example. So we have here a uniform electric field of 8,000 Newton per coulomb passing through a flat square plate, a measurement of 3.6 meter. So determine the flux. Okay, so we have here our formula of phi E is equals to EA cosine alpha. So cosine alpha. So we have here our 8,000 Newton per coulomb as our electrical field. We have here our 3.16 meter for our area, and we have here our cosine alpha. So as you can see, this is just perpendicular from our uh, flat plate. So our flat plate nga pala guys is um, vertical. Okay, so if this is vertical, we have to lay it down. We have to still lay it down. And you can see there is our electrical field lines, pataas din siya. And if it is perpendicular pa din, so we have here our cosine 0. Since we have 0 degrees for our electrical field lines. Okay, and for our area, we have here our 3.16. So this is square. If this is square, we just have to multiply it by itself, or we have to square our we have to raise it by 2. Okay, so 3.16 square. Okay, so it's, and our electrical field line is just E, 8,000 Newton per coulomb. Okay, so we have here our area of, we have here our area of 10 square meter, and our cosine 0 is 1. And we have here our electrical field of 8,000 Newton per coulomb. So multiplying those two, we will be having an answer of 80,000 Newton square meter per coulomb, or in other case, we can rewrite it as 8 times 10 raised to 4 Newton per square Newton square meter per coulomb. Okay, so let's try to solve this one. We have here our 8,000. Oh wait, let's first type multiply solve for our area. So we have here 3.16 times 3.16. We have here our answer of 9.9856, or roughly 10. Okay? Roughly 10 square meter, or 3.16 raised to 2. So the answer will be the same. So 9.9856. So or when we round it up, it is 10 square meter. And we have here our cosine 0, which is equivalent to 1. Okay? So combining all those components, we have here 8,000 multiplied to 10 square meter, 10 and 1. So we will be having an answer of 80,000, or in other case, 8 times 10 raised to 4. So eto, times 3 lang yung nasa calc natin, but when we move the decimal point going to the left, it will add from 3 to 4. Okay, so this is the answer, 8 times 10 raised to 4 Newton square meter per coulomb. Okay. So mahalin sa dalawa ang inyong maging sagot, parehas lang ang value. Okay, so any questions guys? Any questions? So kung wala pang tanong, so let's proceed sa ating sunod na example. So here, we have here a uniform electric field. E is equivalent to 5,000 Newton per coulomb passing through a flat square area of 2 square meters. So we will be determining the electric flux. So this is getting tricky. So here is our flat plate, flat square meter, and these are the electrical field lines that pass through our flat plate. Now, This is our perpendicular. This is our perpendicular uh, orientation. That trend line. That is our perpendicular orientation. So as you can see here, yung ating electrical field lines na nagpass, yan ay naka-angle. Okay, so what is the measurement of our angle dito? We have here a given of area of 2 square meter. We have here our electrical field of 5,000 Newton per square coulomb, and we have here our theta of 30 degrees. Okay, so sige. I'll be giving you time to think kung paano ba natin siya i-solve. Okay, so we have here our timer again. So please try to solve this one, guys. So we have here our square meter, 2 square meter. And we have here our electric field of 5,000 Newton per coulomb, and angle of 30 degrees. Okay, so please try to solve this, guys. Okay, so yan. Okay, so the orientation muna tayo. So before we solve this one, let's have first the orientation of our electrical field. And so here is the face uh, of our plate. And nagpass through dito which is in a perpendicular manner yung ating uh, red line. Okay, so as you can see guys, this is perpendicular. This is perpendicular and now we have here our electrical field lines na nagpass in this manner. So hindi sila perpendicular and naka-align daw ng 30 degrees. Yung 30 degrees natin dito is nakalimutan ko from the horizontal. Okay, so from the horizontal yan. So ngayon, if it is from the horizontal, yung kanilang, yung ating ano, is sabi nga natin kanina from our previous problem, we have to place it in the manner na siya ay flat from the horizontal. So ngayon dito, yung angle natin dito from this, yung angle natin na nakaganto dito. Yung horizontal natin dito is, ito yung 30 degrees natin. Okay. Ito yung 30 degrees natin. And we all know that we will not be using the 30 degrees as our angle. Okay? So sir, bakit po? Kasi kita nyo, binigay na natin na naka-theta siya. Theta. And we are allowed to use the angle alpha. So if this is from the horizontal, yung ating 30 degrees natin na ito, so we will be having our alpha of 60 degrees. So nakuha ba ninyo guys? So we have to lay our perpendicular, we have to lay our flat area to the horizontal side. So para mas madali nating makuha yung ating orientation and our angle whenever we are solving for our electric flux na naka-angle. So if this is the case, so what will happen? If this is the case? We will be using the alpha of 60 degrees instead the given of 30 degrees theta, which is in theta. And alam naman natin na we will be using the alpha 60 degrees. Okay, so we have here our phi E is equivalent to EA cosine alpha, and we have here our 5,000 Newton per Coulomb na electrical field, and we have here our area of 2 square meter cosine 60 for our cosine alpha. So we have here our 5,000 Newton per Coulomb and multiplied to 2 square meter multiplied to 0.5. Cosine 60 is equivalent to 1.5 or 0.5. Okay, so we have here our formula of 5, we have here our answer of 5,000 Newton square meter per Coulomb. Okay, so we have here our answer. And let's try to solve it in our calculator. Okay? So, yan. We have here 5,000. Okay, cosine muna pala tayo. Nakalimutan ko. Cosine 60. So, it is 1/2 or in other terms, 0.5. Okay, so we have here 1/2 or 0.5. Okay, so we have here our 5,000 and we have here our 2 square meter and 1/2 or 0.5. So as you can see, this is 2 times 1/2. That means 1. That's why we will be having the answer of 5,000 Newton square meter per Coulomb. Okay, so we have shown that tama yung ating sagot dito. And now, it can also be rewritten as 5 times 10 raised to 3 Newton square meter per Coulomb. Okay, so, Any questions for this example? Okay. So if wala, let's proceed to another example. So we have here a solid ball with 0.5 meter radius has 10 microcoulomb electric charge in its center. Determine the electrical flux that pass through the solid ball. Okay, so yan. So nasa gitna daw yung ating 10 microcoulomb charge. And we have here our the directions of our uh, the directions of our electrical flux. Okay, so we have here our given of 10 microcoulombs as our charge, and we have here the radius of 0.5. So let's try to solve this one, and meron akong sasabihin sa inyong trick dito. So about sa ating problem na ito. Okay, so sige. Let's try to solve this one, guys, and I hope na maging maganda to. Okay, so this is exciting. Gusto ko itong pinaka gusto kong example sa lahat kasi maganda siyang maganda siyang i-solve, guys. Maganda siyang i-solve kasi um, magagamit mo talaga siya sa mga examinations. Okay. So sige, please try to solve this one. So, okay. So, let's try to solve this one. Okay, so when we say solid ball, walang solid ball na 2D. Okay. So, when we say solid ball, this one is a sphere. This one is a sphere and the area natin dito in any surface is a perfect circle. Okay, so ideally, that's why I said this perfect circle because ideally, this is theoretical, and we are going to assume that this is a perfect circle. So, okay. So, solid ball tayo dito. Solid ball, one of the tricks here in this question is solid ball when it comes to solid ball, that means our surface is still circle anywhere you look at it. Okay? So, yan yung ating first trick. So, we have here our first formula which is phi E is equivalent to Q all over permittivity of free space. So, as you can see, ito yung shortcut natin. Okay. Q all over permittivity of free space. We have here 10 times 10 raised to negative 6 coulomb. Microcoulomb tayo, guys. Divided by 8.85 times 10 raised to negative 12 coulomb square per Newton square meter. Okay, so we will be having an answer of 1.13 times 10 raised to 6 Newton square meter per coulomb. Okay, so let's try to solve this one. Let's try to put it into our calculator. We have 10 times 10 raised to negative 6 all over 8.85 times 10 raised to negative 12. So, akit lang yung negative 12 natin sa taas and we will have the answer of 1.131299 round it up. We have 1.13 times 10 raised to 6. So we have the answer of we have here our first answer. So this is the first method of answering our example. So now, let's proceed naman dun sa mahaba. Okay, so kung trip mong maging martir, papakabayani ka. Kung magpapakabayani ka, use this formula. E is equals to phi E is equivalent to electric field times area cosine alpha. So again, this is a solid ball. If it is a solid ball, anywhere it passes, it is perpendicular sa ating circle. Okay? So if it is perpendicular sa ating circle, we have here our cosine alpha of cosine 0. Okay, so makikita natin yan mamaya. First, we have here our E, electric field line. So wala tayong value. We can solve this one, electric field line, using our formula of E is equals to KQ all over R squared. So substituting the values, we have, and also for our area, which is 4 pi R squared. So we have here our electric field line of electric field of 9 times 10 raised to 9 for our K, multiplied to 10 times 10 raised to negative 6 and 0.5 0.5 meter raised to square. So we have here our area. So since this is a solid ball, which is in 3D. So the surface area of our ball is 4 pi r squared. Okay? So, since ito din naman yung ating ginamit na area, circular area nung ating dinerive yung ating formula. Diba? 4 pi r squared yung ating ginamit doon. Okay? So yan. So, E is equivalent to 360,000 or 3.6 times 10 raised to 5 Newton per coulomb. Okay, so let's proceed naman sa ating area which is A is equivalent to 4 pi r squared. Wait lang. Okay. So since it is a sphere talaga, So this is a sphere. 3D siya. Naka 3D model tayo anywhere you look at any side. It is a it is 4 pi r squared. So circle pa rin yung ating makikita sa kahit saang side. Okay, sa kahit anong side ng ating circle. So let's proceed. 4 pi r squared. So we will have our value of our area of pi square meter. So sir, bakit po nangyaring ganyan? Okay, so let's try to multiply this one. 4 pi times 0.5 square. The answer is pi. Okay, so we have here our value of our area of 3.14 or 3.1416. So that is the value of our pi. And we all know that. Alam naman natin lahat yan na ang ating pi is 3.1416. So we have here our area of 3.14 square meter. And with that, we can solve for our phi e. So as you can see, we have here 3.16 times 10, 3.6 times 10 raised to 5 Newton per Coulomb, multiplied to our 3.14 square meter. Cosine 0. So cosine 0 kasi anywhere in our circle, pag lumabas or nag-pass through yung ating electrical field line, ang lalabas pa rin dyan is perpendicular siya anywhere. So if it is perpendicular, what will happen to our alpha? 0. So if it is 0, cosine 0 will be equivalent to 1. Okay, so here's our answer. So 1.13 times 10 raised to 6 Newton square meter per Coulomb. Okay, so we have solved for our okay, so try natin muna to. 9 times 10 raised to 9. Ito yung ating kanina, hindi natin na pindot. So let's try to solve this. 10 times 10 raised to negative 6 microcoulomb all over our area radius of 0.5 meter square. So we have here our answer of 3.6 times 10 raised to 5. Okay, so you can see here 360 times 10 raised to 3. Move decimal to the left twice. That's why it will be 3 times 10 raised to 5. Okay? And we have here our area of nasolve naman natin kanina, which is 4 pi r squared, 0.5 square. The answer is pi or 3.14. Okay, so let's try to solve naman yung ating phi e, which is 3.6 times 10 raised to the 5th. And we have here our 3.14 and our cosine alpha. We have here the answer of 1.13 times 10 raised to 6. Okay, so 1.13 times 10 raised to 6 Newton square meter per Coulomb. Okay, so parehas na lumabas yung ating sagot dyan, which is 1.13. So medyo labis lang ng konti, but still it's permissible pa din naman yung ating naging sagot. So yun. So ito yung ating long method. Kung gusto niyo talaga maging bayani, maging martir, kung pwede naman natin gamitin yung ating short solution, pwede naman yun. Hindi naman ako maarte sa sagot, guys. So yun. Pinakita lang natin na I just shown you guys the two methods, the short one and the long one. It means that both formulas are working. Okay, so the phi e q, charge all over permittivity of free space, and here the electric field times the area cosine alpha. So alam naman natin na pareha silang nag-work, proven, kita sa ating example. So yun nga lang, you have to choose your own poison when it comes to examination. Okay, so kung gusto mo yung slow, kung gusto mo yung short, and kung gusto mo yung mas mahaba, walang problema sa akin. Always pick your poison, guys. Okay. So that's it. Um, Yun lang. So thank you guys for attending the class. So if you have any questions, so please ask your teacher. And if you don't have any, then same goes for me. And this concludes our topic, which is the electric flux. So we have completed our trilogy, trilogy, the electric charge, electric field, and the electric flux. And I hope, guys, uh, everyone is going to be well. So yun lang. God bless, guys. See you and be legendary. Bye, guys.